Hello, in this video I will tell you how to create a plugin for Atlassian Data Center. This plugin will have a front end which is written in JavaScript and TypeScript, and it uses React. And then it will have a backend. In the backend we will have an active object table. We will be saving data from the front end to this active object table and read data from this active object table. Also, we will get all issue types from the Jira where our plugin is installed and show it in our front end. Okay, let's start. Okay, that is our application. So it's got two folders, backend and front end. Backend, that's our Atlassian application for Jira Data Center. As usual, it's got pom.xml. Right now I'm using the latest version of Jira. On the time when I'm recording this video, it's this one. And also what I added here, I added dependency for active objects. Active objects, here it is. So I took the latest version for active objects, which is right now 5.2.0. How to find versions for active objects? Actually, you can find it in Atlassian documentation. I will show you how to see this Atlassian documentation. So here is the link. Here it is. And here you can see examples, how to write your own active objects. For example, if you go here, getting started, you can see complete example how to use active objects in your data center application. Basically, I took the code from here to the application which I'm going to show you. And here we've got a link. You see here is the version of active object. Find a list of all versions you can find here. So here is the list of all versions. And I took 5.2.0. That's it. Okay, I will put this link into the description for this video. So I added active objects. Okay, now what's inside the plugin itself? First of all, we've got a couple of classes over here. We've got Servlet. Servlet is the one which serves your initial page to Atlassian Jira. I defined it as usual in Atlassian plugin.xml. Here it is. You see the servlet. So I said that the servlet URL will be app, and the class which I'm using is this one. That's how we defined it. Web section, I put it into the plugin menu in Jira. I call it React plugin. And then I defined an item which I call app. And this item calls our servlet. That's it. Okay, what's inside our servlet? We've got here get. So get, when we first open our web section called app, and then we query data from our servlet. And that's what it's using. So it's using soy template renderer. It's a renderer which lets you show soy templates. So in Jira we've got velocity templates and soy templates. In these templates, you can define all HTML tags, all your HTML pages, so how you want to render it. Velocity templates are a bit easier to use, but I decided to make with soy templates, but basically there is no difference. So you can choose whatever you want. So what I'm doing here, first I'm taking the context path. What is the context path? It's like when, for example, you have your Jira, development Jira. So the URL for this Jira is localhost 2990/Jira/ and then already all other URLs. And context path is this /Jira. It's very important to have it because this context path can be different in all instances. Some instances do not have this context path. That's why we need to know what is the context path of our Jira when we call REST API. That's why I get it, and then I put it into the soy template. Okay, let's see the soy template itself. Here it is, templates servlet soy. And here, as you can see, I defined it namespace Servlet UI, and then here we've got template app. And now what it's doing, actually, it's creating a container, and then it's called web resource called app. This web resource is created in our front end. I will show how it's done later. For now, we just have to know that we just call it. That's it. And that's basically what it's doing. Okay, the next thing I did, I created our table, active object table. So that is how we define it. We say that we have AO model, and then I defined the first table called to do. Okay, let's see what we've got inside. You see, it's using this interface. Let's go to AO and this one. So what I defined here the field called description and the field called complete. That's it. And now we've got only two fields. And when we launch our plugin, a table called to do will be created in our Jira schema. And that's it. And we will be able to use it. Okay, how we use it? We've got first a service. In the service, we've got add function. This add function creates a new row in this table. Right now it creates, we pass only description, and this description will be written in this row. And the second one, all, it will get all rows from the table. And that's how it is implemented. So this one, add. So what it does, so we first create new row for to-do class, then we set description, set complete, save, and that's it. It's already in the database. And that's how we use all. So we just say our find to-do class, that's it, and it returns all the data. Okay, that's with active object table. Also, I defined a REST API. This REST API will be able to fetch data from our active object table. I defined it here, see, over here. So we've got REST API, the path is app and version 1.0. And then I started to define resources. That's how to do resource. So what it does, first of all, I import to do service, is this one, because you see, I put it as a service. And then I'm starting to work with it. So when I execute get, I will get all entities from the active object tables called to do. And when I execute post, I will add a new item. And this item, I always add the same item. The description is new item. That's it. That's how it works. And that's our backend, nothing fancy, like everything is usual. Okay, let's talk about the front end. In front end, first of all, we use Webpack. How this Webpack builds our application. Yes, we've got the TypeScript here, but it's just default settings. We've got ESLint, also default settings. And this Webpack config. So what it says? First of all, it says that in try is src up t6. So when we start to build our front end, first we go to this file app.t6. And what's written here? And first, when it loads, I replaced container div with the rendering of this React application. And this container div I provided in my soy template. Also, I get context path because I pass context path from my servlet to soy, and there is a hidden field for it. I get it because I will need it later for executing REST API. And then I call my app function, here it is, and pass there my context path. First I show issue types. It's very simple, so I have here use effect, and then when use effect works when this page is loading, and I execute Jira REST API called issue type. And then I return something, and that I put what I returned here on the page. That's it. Also, I defined here issue type over here, and now basically when I get, for example, data, I can already work with it as if my application knows that what structure this data has. So it's an array, right? Because I defined it as array, see here. So when, for example, if I take the first element, it knows that it will be issue type, and see, I've got here all my fields, which is very convenient. Okay, that's the first one. And the second one we have to do, that's again, I have use effect. First of all, I execute post, I add something to my to-do table. Here it is how it's done. Here I add the body, but actually I could just pass something, this description into the body, and then read in my REST API this description in the body and use it, but I decided not to make it more complicated. It's just like how it all works. You can do it yourself, I believe. And then I query all the data in the to-do table. That's it. That's the application. So as I said, first this entry reads this crc app.tsx. It reads this file and builds our application. Then after it's built, it put everything into this folder. So let's see. This folder is here, resources, front end. So it moves it over here. So we have it here. Another important thing that I also provide the context. So when it builds it, it puts this app, it sets to the context called app. I will show you how it looks like. So that's how we build our application, and this plugin will create resources for our data center plugin, because in data center plugin you need to define resources. If you want to use something on the front end, you have to define web resource, and it will create it automatically. So I will show you how the file looks like. It looks like this, you see. That's how it looks like. It put it into meta-inf folder. And then here it provides context. You see this context, which I mentioned in my webconfig.js over here. That's it. Now, for me to tell to my plugin to use this web resource, I need to add a certain line into pom.xml over here. This line is over here. So Atlassian scan folders for resources, this folder, and it's exactly this folder. And that's why Atlassian will know where my resources are. So let's see how this application works. First of all, we need, so I will show you for how to build our front end first. So you say npm run build. That's it, it's built. And now you can Atlas debug and you can start our Jira. Let's see, let's wait until it started, and then we will see how application works. Okay, our Jira started. The password by default is admin, username admin, password admin. So let's log in. Now we will go to manage apps, because I edit our web section to manage the apps. And now let's execute it. And that's our page. You see, so these are our issue types, and this is our to-do table. We've got right now 3 rows in the table. That's how it works. And another cool thing about the development environment, for example, if I go to my front end, for example, over here, and then let's say I write here issue types and put here, for example, semicolon, then these changes will be immediately seen in our Jira. Let's have a look. Let's refresh the page. And you see now we've got a semicolon here. Okay, that's it for the video. Thank you for watching. Have a good day. Bye-bye.